Hey guys, this is Gaijin Hunter. Many people are going to be making in-depth analysis and recap videos, but honestly I thought that the spring developer update from Capcom was super concise and great, and I think if you just watch it, you'll understand most of what we're talking about. So in this one, I just want to quickly give you the news nice and quick and add in my thoughts. First up, Iceborne has a new director. For the last year and a half while Botodas-san has been working on the new monsters and the updates for MHWorld, Ishihara-san and his guys have been working on Iceborne. If you recognize him, Ishihara-san made his director debut on Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, so it's nice that he's going to have a chance to shine because Generations was a pretty hard game to expand on. Iceborne is going to be coming out worldwide on September 6th, either as a digital add-on for $39.99 US, or you can get a package game which has both World and Iceborne for like $70. For those new to Monster Hunter with Monster Hunter World, when this team does massive expansions, they're usually released as brand new games and you can carry over your save data from the first one. Honestly, with Monster Hunter, the price tag is always justified when you look at the overall volume of what they add. This is the first time that they're doing it as a digital DLC option, so even though for some of you it might come off as expensive, this is actually the cheapest they've ever made an expansion in the series in the past. I'm not going to cover this too much in depth, but there's a lot of different versions. There's a digital version, there's special pre-order bonuses, there's like a digital exclusive premium pack with emotes and armor and stuff like that. So go ahead and just look at the official website and you'll get all the details. Now this is just kicking off the official marketing campaign for Iceborne, so they're only giving us a little bit of tidbit of information, so don't worry if what you saw and you're like, wait, that's it? This is just literally their first little marketing beat, and they're going to have a lot of news at E3, which is next month. However, what they did give us was a pretty good idea of what they're aiming for with this title. One of the features, of course, is Master Rank. This is similar to G Rank in previous titles. If you're not familiar, basically it's just the ultimate rank of the game, so it's difficult, it's interesting, the monsters get new animations and moves, and it just is really cool. I think a lot of people think that the AT Xeno was a good example of what they do generally in G Rank, which is really just changing up the way that it moves and does stuff, and of course making the gear even that much better. In the video that they showed, and I'm going to have the link in the description down below, they gave us a very in-depth look at the Hoarfrost Reach. This is a brand new region that they're adding, which is where all the story is going to take place. It's going to slowly, gradually open as you play through Iceborne, and it looks like this map is going to be way bigger than any of the fields that we have currently in the game. So it's not like they're just adding in a map. They're practically adding in a new part of the continent, but it's all put together with this common theme because we have the Iceborne and the Elder Dragon. It's a cohesive story that they're putting together. As they usually do when they announce an expansion for a game, they gave us a few tidbits on some new monsters. This won't be all of them, but it's just a few just to sort of whet our palate and get us excited for the game. The first one is that sort of elk-like monster, the Banbaro. Really cool design here with these huge horns, which it uses to sort of pile drive into the ground and charge you, and just picks up all sorts of stuff like trees and stuff like that, making even more obstacles. I love the footage that they showed of it. I think this is going to be a favorite monster, even though they did say it was going to be early game, so it's probably not going to be a very difficult monster, but it should be pretty fun. I think Insect Glaive is going to have a very easy time against this type of thing, so maybe that'll encourage people to try out that weapon. Then they showed off a new monster that likes to go underneath the ice and pop up, which is Botodas, or however you want to pronounce it. This thing, I don't think it necessarily means that Zamtrios won't be in, which was another monster that would occasionally go under the ice and out, the big shark, because the mechanics are very different, but it is nice to see that we're going to have a bunch of new type of monsters for both the entry, the mid, and late game tiers. And of course we do have the return of everyone's favorite Nargacuga. One of the things I liked is that they didn't show it actually in the Hoarfrost Reach. It seems like it's going to be a new additional monster on the rest of the continent, which makes me think that Iceborne has a lot of story expansion outside just the Frosty region, but in the normal regions as well. They did promise that Nargacuga likes to have turf wars, and it should be really interesting to see it give Rathalos the smackdown. And finally, every game in Monster Hunter gets a flagship monster, and this one is an Elder Dragon called Velkhana. This is an ice dragon. Obviously it has extreme frost attacks and stuff like that, but it seems like this Elder Dragon is going to be quite involved in the story, similar to how Nergigante was a sort of critical part of the main game story. And then finally they gave us a taste of how they're switching up the combat so that it feels new and different. And they're doing some interesting things here, and I think that projectile is the main word here. The big thing that they're doing here is they're going to allow you to use the slinger with your weapon out and in the middle of combos, and depending on the weapon type, the new kind of stuff that you can do is going to be completely different. One key item that they're adding is called the Clutch Claw, and this is kind of like a grappling hook that will allow you to jump onto the monster and temporarily mount them, allowing you to use either special slinger ammo or to do some special attacks for a limited period of time. I think there's going to be a wide variety of things you can do. We see here like it's making the monster run in a direction. There's one where it's stunning it. There's an attack here where it looks like he's actually carving an item out of the face of the monster. If you watch here, he does a special attack and it makes it drop an item. So there's going to be a lot of interesting things that you can do when you're in this temporary clutched state, so to say. They did specifically call out 2 of the actions that you can do, which are going to be pretty game changing. One of them is called the flinch shot, and this is a special type of attack that you can do with your slinger when you're clutched onto a monster that will send it flying in a specific direction. This of course is great if you're going to be using your environment, or let's say you laid a trap and you want to knock it into the trap and stuff like that. Another thing you can do is a thing called the power shot, and this is a type of slinger shot that you can do in the middle of a combo, which has a high flinch value. So something like greatsword they're showing here in the middle of charging, you can hit it, make the monster flinch and then pull off and finalize your charge shot. Stuff like dual blades can use it to jump around it while it's evading and stuff like that. So definitely seems like the slinger is getting a massive upgrade in Monster Hunter World, both with being able to use items and all these new shots both in the middle of a combo and when you're in a clutch state. And it was nice that they gave a shout out to bowguns. They're not going to be left behind, and they're getting things called custom mods, which will allow you to do different stuff and add in new abilities. The thing that they were showing off in their video for this time was an ability that you might recognize from a past game, which is from Sedegios armor, which was every time you evade, you sort of automatically reload a shot. Which is awesome. Having like ammo reload as you evade around a monster was one of my favorite ways to play Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, so I'm pretty excited that they're adding that as a custom mod for bowguns, and I'm really interested to see what other type of custom mods they're going to add as well. So that's really it. They're going to have a lot of news during E3, but I do like now knowing where they're going with the combat when it comes to Slinger and the weapon now being much more intermixed, and I think that's going to create all the new action. So new action, new monsters, brand new area which looks fantastic, and finally an ice flagship monster. I'm pretty happy. I think it looks great. They did also give a quick little update on Monster Hunter World, the base game. They are adding in the Arc Tempered Nergigante and its set, as well as a new dynamic theme which they created, which they're selling I believe from today. Anyways, let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of the huge announcement. Again, don't rely on someone else's recap. Go and watch it. It was in English. They did a dub over on it at Capcom's channel. It's fantastic. Pretty exciting. I love what they showed, and I can't wait to see more next month. Also, make sure to check out the trailer that they re-showed at the end of the stream, because they did add in a little teaser at the end, which definitely sounds something like a Tigrex. We'll have to wait and see though. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, happy hunting.